Hello, fellow teachers. This is remote teacher Dr. Joe at Arizona State University's Global Launch. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to make an adjustment in the quiz settings in Canvas. This video is brought to you by electronic paper. Electronic paper requires no printer, is accessible to students with phones, and provides high fidelity feedback. Also, it includes tree-free ingredients. So here I have an assignment, marketing campaign case study exercise, that I placed on Canvas as a multiple choice quiz, in which students looked at various marketing strategies of different American companies primarily. And one student emailed saying that she didn't do really well, and she was concerned about her grade. It's an Advanced 2 class. They need the TOEFL waiver in order to get into their next degree program. So what I do is moderate the quiz during the time that the students are taking the quiz, and I look at the quiz scores as well through moderation of quiz. I had to stop the video recording in order to make a little bit of an edit in order to adjust the sharing screen so I didn't show students' names in order to maintain anonymity. But each student had one attempt to take the quiz, or one try to take the quiz. These are the student scores out of 11. Students took a range of 20 some minutes to take the quiz. I gave them, I believe, 35 minutes to take the quiz. And students want to retake the quiz. A couple of them are very concerned. So, I've treated this like an exercise. It wasn't an assessment. And it was a group activity. And so I'm going to open the quiz up to allow them to do that, to take the quiz again. So what I need to do is to go into edit the quiz. So I'm going to do that, edit the quiz. And here's where this specific adjustment is going to be made. First of all, I always shuffle the answers in my quiz. Otherwise, the correct answer will always be the first answer. I lamentably have made that mistake, I think, once, and once was the only time I needed to make that mistake. Because teachers, in utilizing Canvas, will create quizzes, sometimes once a day. I've made quizzes. And so the more quizzes you make, the more mistakes you're going to make. But hopefully this will help you. This video will help you not to make mistakes, to obviate or to reduce or eliminate mistakes. Always shuffle answers with multiple choice questions, true and false as well. And then here is the adjustment I'm going to make. I'm going to say allow multiple attempts. And here's the beauty of it, is that if a student were to do better the first attempt, Canvas will keep that first attempt. I'm going to let them do the quiz twice. There are a couple of other adjustments that I can make here. Let students see their quiz responses. I already let them see their quiz responses once they took it once. I don't anticipate that they took screenshots of the quiz itself. They might remember some of the answers, but again, this was not a quiz. I'm using the quiz function as more of an exercising, drilling with content, comprehension checks. And this was a group activity anyways, and I want them to learn the content. So I want them to get better, or to acquire the knowledge within that content. And the demonstration of that will be within possibly the higher score. Here's the thing, Canvas won't allow you to juxtapose the previous score and the current score. So you don't know what the other score was unless you take a screenshot before you open the quiz up a second time, which I could do for research purposes, but at this point I'm not going to do that, only after each attempt. And then I'm going to go ahead and adjust it I'm going to give them a little bit of a time. I think I want them to perfect this content or to acquire the knowledge, so I'm just going to go ahead and say until tomorrow. And then as I adjust my screen to show you that, I'm going to go to save. And then what I'm going to do before I exit out of this this assignment page is I'm going to copy the assignment link, copy that right there. Then I'm going to go to my announcements. I'm going to create a new announcements for students. I'm going to go to click on add announcement. I'm going to title it A2 business quiz open for a second chance. Students will love this up in my class. So I went ahead and just constructed the announcement. And what I want to do is remind them or tell them that they can take the quiz a second time. And remember that I've saved or copied the link to the assignment. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the assignment and then click on the link to URL. Then I'm going to paste it. And my philosophy is I want students to have access to the materials, not just telling them, hey, you need to check the modules or you need to check the files. But I will tell them constantly, check the announcements. If you're absent, check the announcements. The announcements have all of the materials hyperlinked to them. I went ahead and actually hyperlinked the new product and service presentation so that students have not only that link in the assignment area, in assignments, but also within announcements the entire week. They might have 3 or 4 announcements on 3 or 4 different days that have the specific links that they're using for a specific assignment. And then if I were to just click on that, then it's going to open up to another page, and it will take me right to that assignment, that assignment page, so that students don't have to look at the title of the assignment and then take a couple of more steps clicking on assignments and then clicking on the specific assignment. So this will cut out students because we want them to do the assignments. We don't want to make it, over the river and through the woods to get to the assignment. It should be easily accessible. That's my philosophy anyways. And then I'm going to go ahead and save it as well. And it will be sent right away. Make sure that it's relatively grammatically correct, or exactly grammatically correct. I like to be a good role model for students, especially being an A2 Advanced 2 student going on to most likely W.P. Carey's School of Business and Undergraduate and Graduate Studies, which is an exceptional school throughout the country, not just here in Arizona. And here's that announcement that is not only posted to the Canvas homepage for this specific shell or this specific class, but also students are emailed the announcements as well. I like to hyperlink my announcements. It makes it much more convenient for me as well as students. I often will send announcements, right now with multiple classes and a servant of students, let's say. I'm trying to create announcements a day or two in advance, but let's say when there's more organization during a session or a semester, I'm able to set announcements for at least a week in advance, which is great because I could leave it on a Friday and come back and I know what I'm doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday, just looking at what announcements I've set. I have to make adjustments to announcements. I would recommend that when you do go to announcements and set for delay, and I'll show you that here in a second. I usually will delay, and this is something that you should do anyways, even if you want to send the announcement right away. I would suggest that you delay. You click on the delay, because oftentimes I have found in the past year of sending announcements, daily announcements to students, even with follow-on homework announcements after class is over, that I have to make edits right up until the time that class starts, or so I usually like to set my announcements for a specific time, like right before class. The class starts at 8:30. Then I will actually set the announcement for 8:29. That would be in the morning, because I might make an edit right up until the time before class starts. So it was a little extemporaneous or impromptu that we added the hyperlinking to this video, but we looked at changing quiz settings, especially to accommodate students. But otherwise, you could do this for drilling, making quiz setting adjustments in which students could take the quizzes or the exercises 2 or 3 or 4 times. This video was brought to you by the Materials Subcommittee at Arizona State University's Global Launch. Forkum Devils.